Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday. It's May 13th, 2024. I hope that you are doing well, that you had, now that I know what I know, a very restful weekend. So much of what I learned about the galactic current events just late yesterday and early today makes so much sense as to the energy that I was channeling, not just in my messages on Friday and Saturday, but also just how I was feeling, like kind of restful, let's say it like that. Like I wasn't really drained, but when I tell you, like all weekend long, I was in a very relaxed state. Like, not like I don't like to be typically on the weekend, but it was like even more chill than usual. Like on the couch watching TV, relaxed and happy to do it. That's also the thing. And yes, I could blame it on, the liberty of Mother's Day, just kind of taking it easy, but it wasn't that, because it just wasn't that. It was something else. And what I realized after the fact was that we had hella solar storms over the weekend. I didn't know they were coming, and I didn't know that they were happening and had happened. But it gives a lot of relevance to the nature of my messages between Friday and Saturday, particularly maybe even before that, throughout the last week. But Friday, I remember specifically that there was just a strong energy that I could feel, but I couldn't really wrap my words around it the way that I wanted, that I felt comfortable, where I felt like that transmission was clear, like, yes, I said what I needed to say. I said it how I felt it, and it was concise. And Saturday somewhat, but definitely Friday. So I feel like that was really just me inhabiting the energy. And I love that about myself. I really do. I love that even when I don't think I'm necessarily tapped in, I am, and sometimes in hindsight, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what was going on, or that's what I was talking about, or whatever. So definitely check into those messages. They may even feel different or say something different now, knowing, having these storms pass, than what they were in the moment, even to me. I may even rewatch at this point. But if you haven't, certainly it would make sense for you to do so. But it's like, wow, it was a lot of energy happening over this weekend, like really high frequency, intergalactic force coming into the realm, so if you felt particularly tired, drained, just unusual ailments in your body, like headaches or muscle aches, back aches, a loss of appetite, maybe certain, like, different things you could have been sensing over this weekend that seemed unusual. I didn't have a whole lot of physical reaction, more so than me just really being tired, and not even tired to the point where I was sleepy, because it wasn't like I was sleeping all day, but it was just like my body somehow got the memo that there was a call for rest. So I hope that you allowed yourself to do that, in the moments that your body was calling for it, because now in hindsight, I know that just would have been the natural response energetically when we're harnessing all of these intensified energies in a physical form, that it's just, you know, it's just natural that you would need to take extra care of your vessel. So particularly on Friday, I was talking about how I was saying, like, I hope you have a fun weekend. I hope you do something fun. And it was like, do you even really feel that way? And I was even talking about how I personally didn't have any plans. And now thinking back on it, it's like, yeah, because it may have been wise this weekend to really just take it slow, you know, to sleep as you felt guided to relax, kick your feet up, drink your water, you know, really take care of self. So I hope that you did. Maybe Mother's Day could have been an extra excuse for that and a little less activity. And if you haven't, there's certainly no time like the present, as I feel the energy is still a bit intensified to some degree. That if you were particularly busy over this weekend, that you find, it's part of me, a little more downtime today as the week starts, or maybe tonight to sleep, you have a couple more hours of sleep planned or relaxation planned, so you can really kind of recharge your energy to get through whatever we've been powering up for this week, okay? Because, you know, the charge doesn't come for no reason. It's not just, you know, par for the course. It's purposeful. So that means just as energized as you may be spiritually, even if you don't, you know, it's like we're transmuting that frequency. So your body, your physical being needs to catch up with that supercharge, but it's for a super purpose. So, which is why we get to rest and meditate and stuff like that to really harness it in, you know, to so to speak. So let's see what we got here. 3 of Wands. Okay. That's what I was saying. Like, there's some expectation. There's something that's coming in. And the 2 of Wands before this is like the plan, the choice, the intentional plan of action or direction that you choose that prepares you to be in, what is this? It wants to be seen. Okay, so it's Page of Pentacles, prepares you to be in reception or be in expectation, even more so, with the 3 of Wands here. So some ships coming in. Interesting. But we got the Page of Pentacles here. Celebration with the Moon. What's this about? I don't know. I'm feeling a bit strange about the nature of this celebration here. The Queen of Wands. Yeah. With the Moon card in the midst of this. Yeah. Was this some energy sent out? Some energy expelled? I'm gonna tell you, it's given the energy that that whereas I, and maybe perhaps some, may have been ignorant to the cosmic current events as such this past weekend, there's some that don't miss a beat, and they don't miss an opportunity to try to harness whatever frequency they possibly can for their own lower frequency ambitions. That's what this is given to me here. But it's really deflated though, because it feels like some level of like moon magic, or just some mystical, what's the word? Like mystical ritual that was enacted on account of the solar energy that was set to, that we were set to more or less like inhabit in the earth. But where it started with Three of Pentacles, it's like something, I don't get the sense that it really had the effect, or perhaps it was expressed, and here's the Page of Pentacles, but it doesn't seem like there was much that was able to be gleaned from that energy, because number one, that's not what it's for. It should have been empowering, but it feels like it was depleting of some folks, like I said, that had the intention to glean a great deal of a power up or a recharge on account of the energy, but not for promising purposes or productive purposes. Like there's something sinister about it with the Moon card, something mystical and, you know, distorted about it. But it's something more about it here, because it's feeling like somebody, let me just see what else comes up in the cards. No matter what, it's come down to a Page of Pentacles where there was some offering made with the intention, of an exchange. So this is what the ships are being awaited. Well, let's just see what could possibly be coming into port on account of that. Yeah, so it was a whole group effort. But this is what I was saying, like what was kind of throwing me for the loop, because you got the Queen of Wands, which could have been like the initiator, more or less, of whatever this intention was, or this actualization of energy was, right? But everyone else is in like a strange, was in like a strange energy, like a depreciated energy. So it's given that someone gleaned a great deal of, or at least tried to glean a great deal of power off of whatever this collective of a collusion may have been, from the Three of Pentacles to the Three of Cups. That there was like a collective surge where it may have been presented to be for, you know, the outcome may have been presented to be for the benefit of the whole, meaning everyone that was engaged. But it seems to me that it was only really set up to be for the benefit of one particular. It's like somebody manipulated a whole group of participants to really kind of like siphon that collective energy to juice up their own power. But in the end, it still only comes down that juice up their own power, but also then create it as like a sacrifice in the same instant, where those that engaged themselves didn't even really know that they were a part of a sacrifice or being sacrificed energetically, even to empower the motivation, if nothing else, or the agenda of one representative of that Queen of Wands. The gag is that with all of that energy expelled, exposed, expended, invested, you know, this grand plan to harness this frequency, it still only came down to a Page of Pentacles level of an offer, which is not much in the grand scheme of things. With all of that, that was all the offering someone could muster up. And here they are, or somebody is having an expectation. You know what, but this is very masculine to me with the Three of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. You know, of course we say there's no gender in tarot, but for me, it's different. Sometimes things are very unisex or ambiguous, but sometimes genders represent something very specific and can even speak to the correlation between the energy of the cards. The Page of Pentacles, I'll just say it how I feel it, because I'm trying to make provision for the evidence, but it just is what it is. Like, I feel like somebody that thought that they were in on the beneficiary side of this this ritual, this sacrifice, whatever it was, actually has become the sacrifice, or they didn't know that they were the sacrifice with that Page of Pentacles. They were the offering. And here they are having an expectation for some ships to come in on account of what they collectively contributed to, when they're actually the one on the altar. Whether this is a figurative altar or an energetic, spiritual, actual, I don't know, but it's given, this is definitely, you know, cause and effect, equal give and take. Like, whatever they participated in is now what they can expect to encounter. Five of Cups. That's about right. Yep. Wow, and that's the backfire. It's worse than I thought. And it's also representative of the solar storm. All that energy, that galactic energy coming into the earth realm. And this is scientific. This is not just spiritual. Like, this is all the websites you could possibly search pertaining to astronomy. Like, it's a real thing. It actually happened. And like I said, some people, i.e. myself, didn't really know. Usually I'm a little bit more keen to catch on to what's coming in the sphere, whether it be by, you know, the YouTube streets, talk of the town, or I just get led to the right thing at the right time. But I promise you, like, I had no idea. Like, I was feeling all of the energy, you know, regarding it, but I didn't know until it was late last night that I heard somebody say something, because I wasn't even that tapped into YouTube. After I posted my message on Saturday, I kind of like took a little, this weekend I kind of been seriously like on a little hiatus. I was watching TV, which is not typical of me, you know. To be 100% specific, I was binge watching this show called Summer House. Go figure, with the solar energy. Like, I was caught up in watching that because I started watching the show in the most recent season, which is season 8, right? Also get into the numbers. Season 8, and just strangely, I was just like, I want to go back and watch it from the beginning. There's absolutely no need to watch this particular series from the beginning because it's a reality show. So more or less you could just pick up, you know, it's not that deep of a plot that you can't be satisfied in the present season, which I am. But for some reason I just felt like I wanted to go back and see how it all started. Interesting. Even as I'm saying that, you know, nothing is ever without purpose or reason, at least not in my life. So yeah, so that's what I was doing this weekend. For real, for real. And meanwhile, all this energy was just flooding the planet, and I was just on my couch, feet up, chilling, enjoying my son's company. And literally not, I even wanted to wash clothes on Sunday, and my son was like, no, let's just wait. I'm like, what? He usually is thrilled to go out and wash the clothes so he can run around and stuff. He's like, no, I think we should just chill. And I'm like, all right. So shoot, that's what I did. So I don't know. King of Wands. Wow. Yeah, and it's given that this is the expectation that somebody had to, they had the expectation to benefit from this surge of energy in tandem with whatever this ritual or whatever this collective channeling or siphoning was, to advance to this level. But like I said, they didn't realize that they were actually being ritualized as well. That's crazy. Let's see what else we got. Here's a contract. Corrupted contract. So whomever they thought they were on the same page with, they weren't. They weren't. Whomever thought that they were on the same page, out for the same outcome, splitting everything 50-50, or at least both had something to gain of their investments and contribution. It was corrupt from the start. Wow. Knight of Cups, that just dropped in my hand. So it gives a sense that they had a little bit of an ulterior motive too, which is probably why it was just par for, you know, not par for the course. I don't know why I keep saying that, but it was just, I guess, karmically aligned. It's like, you know, this is giving me like two people that are like making a promise to each other, but they both got their fingers crossed behind their back. Like, yeah, all for one, one for all type of energy, but behind, you know, beneath the surface, neither one of them has the purest intentions. One may have beat the other to the punch a little bit faster, or, you know, been a little bit more aggressive in their corruption, but ultimately neither one is going to to be victorious. I can't think of the word that would be better suited, but yeah, it's like, here's somebody working. Still, this offer, did I mix those cards up? Maybe I didn't put it back correctly. Yeah, now they're having to protect themselves from that corruption that they align themselves with. Yeah, and it's a burden, it's a stress on their back. They're absorbing all the pressure of this work and ambition that they were supposed to be sharing collectively, that they were supposed to mutually benefit from, and also that they were supposed to both be responsible and accountable for. I hear like all or nothing. All or nothing. They put in work, okay? This was a very meticulous plot and plan, but it also gives that I'll say it was an ambitious plot and plan. I don't know if it was meticulous, because it feels a bit like a Hail Mary, like nothing left to lose type of energy, which is probably why I'm saying all or nothing. So it's like literally throwing everything you have up against the wall to see what sticks. But the problem is that there was no true and pure accordance in this collective ambition, which is why it didn't amount to much more than the Page of Pentacles, because like I said, it was corrupted from the start. Maybe it would have grown or been more impactful or more impressionable if there was actually a synergy between this Two of Cups energy and not just two self-absorbed and selfish, hell, just outright selfish people, recognizing that they kind of need each other for whatever reason to make something happen. It's like if they could have, either one of them could have done it by themselves, they would have. But for whatever reason, there was a codependency here between these two energies. But there wasn't true dependability between those two energies, because each one engaged this corruption with the intention to snake the other as soon as possible. you know, like, yeah, I'm all for it, I'm with you, da 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 da, but the pressure is thick and the stakes are high. So there really was only as much commitment here as would be mutually productive. I should say not even productive, profitable. It's not production. It's not true productivity. It's about profit here. That there was an expectation, a desperation, I would even say, for some return on this energy as kind of like a last ditch effort to make the most of perhaps some dire straight situations. With the 5 of Cups, somebody is could be at rock bottom or in their worst energy, and it was like, well, all or nothing. Let's give it all we got. But there was still some withholding. Like I said, they're actually not having their hands behind their back, but that's what I'm feeling. You know, it's like, can I trust you? Yeah, man. Like, yeah, of course. Yeah, that was the 4 of Pentacles, holding back. Yeah, both withholding some. Wow. Both being withholding. I don't know what they were withholding. I guess they're, I don't know. Let me see. What's this? There's the Queen of Wands again. It seems to me they both want to be the Queen Bee. In some capacity or another. That's that 5 of Wands as well. There was like an underlying competition of who was in charge, really, because the ego in them was disturbed by needing anyone outside of themselves at this point. Like I said, if they could be a one-man or one-woman show all their own, they would be, but they can't. So it's like both almost having the intention to get as far as they possibly can with the codependency of the other, or on the codependency, in the codependency of the other, until they could finally ditch the other. Like, all right, I got where I need to be. I got what I came for. You know, I've obtained whatever the profitable desire was. It seems like it's a matter of power, though. Power for profit, but it's something about power here based on how we started. What's at the top of the spread with the 3 of Wands, what went on this weekend in terms of the power that was being surged into the earth, and the evidence here even with the 8 of Wands. The Moon card and the mystery and mysticism of whatever ritual or agreement, like a shady deal that was made. And it's all very underlining, because it's like, how are you gonna have all this solar energy coming in, but you're trying to harness through the power of the moon? It seems like a backdoor situation, which the universe would not honor. Like, you have to engage the energy face to face, head on, authentically, which is why it didn't amount to much, because somebody was like trying to backdoor the universe. Like, what is that? Like, glean the energy of the sun, but by way of the moon, like almost like the satellite, like reroute, trying to reroute the frequency through the moon. Maybe the siphoning of it would, how that gets to look is through the rituals that I'm speaking of being done in a more dark and mystical space, but it's for the purposes of rerouting that transmission of power by that way, as opposed to being in alignment with it to engage it, you know, because they can't. That's why. That's what I just heard. Like, they can't, their bodies are not, they're spiritual. It's not even their body so much, but it is, because that's how I said, even if you're absorbing it and you're in alignment too, you still need to rest. Your body still, your vessel needs to adjust. But these are energies that are not well prompted. It's like they don't have a circuit protector. So to engage this energy directly is her like suicide. Damn, that's what the Five of Cups is too. It's almost like a suicide mission to some degree, because they don't have the frequency, they're not conducive to that surge. Mainly because their mental and spiritual vibrations are so low. So to engage this level of energy, as potent as it is, could almost like kill you if you're not, especially when you're meaning to be engaged by it. It's like, okay, so obviously it's not as cut and dry and black and white as you could be killed on the spot, because if that's the case, then maybe half the planet would be dead, if not more right now, right? But it's something about the awareness of this engagement, like I said in the very beginning, where it's like some don't even know they're being conducted through, you know, or that they are a conduit, and some don't even know they're being engaged. Some, you now looking back at your life, whether you knew or didn't, might be able to consider some ways that your body expressed this engagement where you weren't even aware of it while it was happening. But for those that, again, have been in a position to be proactive about harnessing this power, it's like you almost, there's a little less grace for that when you put yourself in the way of it, and you actually don't have any jurisdiction, or I'll say you don't have any, what's the right word, like clearance. There it is, the clearance again. And this speaks again about my message on Saturday about people trying to break into heaven, like trying to knock down heaven's door to some degree. This is given like a part 2 of that to some degree, or at least the backdrop of what I meant when I didn't really know what I meant at the time. So it's like trying to poise yourself, but see, they over here, right? Not really in the energy, because like I said, it's like trying to like passively, aggressively, emphasis on the aggressively part though, siphon this frequency for a power up and a recharge by that's the point of the sacrifice. So they propped up some energies that could kind of take the brunt off of the impact, thinking that they were in this is deep, thinking that they were in alignment for the power charge, the power up too, like we all going to harness the solar flares together type of energy, when on the sideline, as I said, it was known by way of the Queen of Wands and whomever the accomplice was, that that's not a power that you can just easily possess without clearance to do so, certainly without protection to do so, and without good intention to do so. So they propped up this like sanctum or circle of siphoners and allowed them to take the brunt of the impact. I don't know what happened, you know, on account of that. I don't know if those folks experienced immediate infraction upon contact, or that's something that, you know, could develop over time now. You know, how it may not have been like an immediate turnaround of what am I trying to say? Like an immediate infection, so to speak, or something like that. Like it could be something that develops, you know, where now you done propped up these folks to do the dirty work, ultimately to be a collective sacrifice to some degree. And then where they think they all get to look forward to some big power up and surge ahead in their life, they may actually, you know, they got defrauded, and they may actually be about to look at some despair, whether it be material, energetic, emotional, psychological. It could be a number of things that now these folks are taking the brunt for on account of whatever this sacrifice was. But again, back to that Page of Pentacles, even with all the energy, all the, you know, the motivation behind this big plot and plan, it still didn't yield much. Because what's the Page of Pentacles when you done put in 8 already? So that means that somebody got powered up, maybe this Queen of Wands energy, or like I said, the accomplice here, he's still waiting, like, where's mine? But little did he know that, yes, the collective surge was one thing. They took the brunts. Here they are in this 6 of Pentacles. This is the community impact here. He thought he was on the same page as her to be just as juiced up to be the King of Wands, but she sacrificed him too, somehow, some way, maybe some type of backdoor ritual where they were all in on the one collectively, but her backdoor ritual is what put him on a chopping block, because his energy to some extent was invaluable to her to be a gateway to offer as a sacrifice. But I think the gotcha is with that Page of Pentacles is that even for her, he became much, you know, like a bit like kind of disappointing of a sacrifice to whatever it is she's sacrificing to as the Page of Pentacles, is because the frequency is too low. And it didn't really gain the access that was anticipated because the frequency is too low. So all the community, all the, it's like all of that is like, are you even the Queen of Wands? Like, first of all, you got to do all that to juice up on other people's energy. But then even with all of that, you still didn't make the impact that somebody needs to hang it up mystically. Like, I think they about to, though. Let's see what's on the other side here. They probably about to. Ooh, and look who that is. Exactly. He was set up to take all, because it was known that the backfire was going to happen to the collective. That was known. But somehow on the back end, he was set up to take the residue of whatever the universal backlash would be, whereas she thought she would take the benefit. He would get the backlash, she would absorb the benefit. But let's see what's here. Five of Cups again in the World card. What's this? This is deep for a Monday. Wow, she thought, oh, what a bitch. Do y'all see these cards? The Magician, the Five of Cups. So he thought he was in it to win it too. Little did he know, this was his fate. Five of Cups. It put an end to this cycle, which also is telling me it put an end to her, where it's like, where you think you going? You ain't going too far either. And what's this? Just so I can get a range. Exactly. Oh my God. Them cards is talking today. You hear me? The Eight of Swords, like it bound her as well. It was like the perfect storm, literally, to bind all parties involved. Literally. It's like they all, whoever agreed to participate in this as the collective got bound because they had no business, even though they weren't privy to, you know, what the underlinings and underworkings were. They should have never been in agreement with it at all, period. Like, do your research, consult your spirit, follow your own discernment, and keep yourself out of harm's way. That's your responsibility. You can't blame it on nobody else. So they're in the line of fire. But then this couple that thought they could prop some other energies up to take the fall, I don't know why, how cloaked they thought and protected they thought they were, or delusional about the power that they possessed, but they thought they could do that. Him thinking he could trust her, and her feeling like she could snake him, and he, you know, like trying to like more or less take advantage of his trust, you know. But in the end, neither one of them really being trustworthy, so there's that. But they thought they had that part in the bag, or at least he did, and then come to find out he was also a sacrifice. And then she thought that she had it covered, not only by the collective, but then also to prop him up to be the fall guy for what they both were in agreement and in contract for. And ultimately, the world stopped her ass too. But what's this? I just want to know. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. So yes, she thought she was getting away scot-free, and it was like, nope, no you don't. Bound that ass up. Yeah, she thought she was, wow. This is what she ordered. This is what she got. She thought she was going to be single, free, independent, self-sufficient, prosperous, productive, victorious, all that, on account of whatever this magic or ritual or whatever the hell it was. And now everybody's in the Five of Cups. I wouldn't even think that somebody would. That's why I know it had to be a backdoor situation, because nobody in their right mind, that's like trying to fight the sun, or trying to extort the sun. Why did you ever think that was gonna work? They thought if they created enough layers of that was supposed to be the protection, those protective layers of people, that would be enough to keep them from getting scorched. But as it like, You ever felt how hot the sun is just from our vantage point on the earth? And now it's coming into the earth, and you didn't think that it would see through you or burn through the barriers that you created? Like, what? This is craziness. This has to be insanity on some level. It has to be. That's why I said I revoked what I said when I said it was a meticulous plan. It wasn't that meticulous because it wasn't that bright, no pun intended. It was desperation, with the Five of Cups showing up twice, literally just willing to do anything. Clearly and here's the Page of Pentacles again. Clearly some level of possession here. And as I said, all that work and it didn't yield a damn thing. I don't even, Ace of Swords. Maybe, I was about to say, like, I don't even know what the Page of Pentacles represents, given all of this backlash that's happened. And I guess it was just the truth, revelation, exposure. Again, not realizing that you were creating yourself to be a sacrifice, maybe a sacrifice of revelation of what's really going on in these spiritual streets. Unbeknownst to the average human being. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just quite unbelievable. Like, that's your only contribution at this point, is just being a revelation, a living revelation of what people will do at their worst, what measures have been taken in the most sinister spirit, and like of the obsession that is so real that you wouldn't even believe it. Like, it doesn't, if you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe it. Like, nobody is doing all that. Yes, they are. They absolutely are. Like, me even saying, like, I don't even like talking about rituals and moon magic and death magic and like stuff, like fantastical stuff like that. I like to practicalize things as much as possible, because I know, again, the average human being doesn't believe that people are sitting around trying to harness the universal energy of anything. But people have committed themselves, as much as they have with this Eight of Pentacles, to doing rituals and things every single moon cycle, from full to new, to materialize situations that are more or less, you know, for their own good and in their own favor. Not for the greatest good of the universe or for anybody's benefit, for that matter, mostly, but only themselves. Trust me, I know. Not because I've done it, but because I've been on the vulnerable end of it and have had to counter response and defense during those said cycles, just to keep my head on my body. Queen of Pentacles. Wow. just to keep my head on my body. In the physical sense and in the figurative sense. Hella spells. Between death magic, love magic, sex magic, what else? Obsession spells, chaos magic, jar spells, freezer spells, anything that could be, everything but the damn kitchen sink, I'm telling you. Everything but the kitchen sink, honey. And if not for me lighting my little candles and saying my little prayers, never in, you do what you want to do, but for me, my energy has never been expelled for attack. It's always been protective. It's always been self-affirming, self-healing, self-ascending. I feel like that's the greatest defense. Again, leading back to the point of why some were in a protective space to absorb this accelerated energy and some are not. Because if you've depleted all of your energy on manipulation magic, way out of line, way out of order with the universe, how dare you get in line to get juiced up? Some knew they had no right to do that. So they did what they know how to do. Go through the back route, the dark route, the black market of magic to try to segue that frequency to them through other sacrifices. And that might have been the biggest mistake they ever made with this Judgment card here. Out of all the many big mistakes, that might have been the worst. But that's what desperation will do for you. Yep, that might have been the worst. To actually think that you was about to celebrate off of someone else's misfortune, off of others' demise, that you would have your come up. That may have happened in a season, but judgment was called on that a long time ago. And it's like people still don't get the memo. They still haven't gotten the memo. One more card. Well, I might do one in the middle. I don't know. My incense is gone. What was that? Oh, Temperance. I know that's right. Giving out what everybody's been putting in. And the Sun. Wow. Ultimate exposure. And strength. Yeah, some folks didn't quite ever find that balance between their spiritual and carnal nature and primal nature. But those that did and do are the ones that could effectively harness this frequency of upgrade and resurge in the realm without fear. And that is known, that was known, which is why such great measures of I won't say even protection, but like they created a human shield. Yeah, like some type of human shield to almost act like like a filter so that the energy could be siphoned through that, so that if anybody was going to get, you know, was going to be inflicted by the surge on account of all that I said, it would go through that, penetrate that first layer first, and then, oh, so then they were trying to like flip that to whomever they were offering this sacrifice to in the dark, like in the dark web, the dark spiritual web. Ah, so you were serving two masters, no wonder. That's what this is given, between the sun and the moon. So it's like they knew that whatever they propped up to be in the line of fire would be destroyed in some way, shape, or form, whether it was on the spot or whether it's something that is going to develop. Like people might start getting sick or whatever the case may be. So what they did was they harnessed that energy as the sacrifice on the back end to whomever it is that they were inclined to believe would be able to transfer. This is the rerouting, to transfer said energy to them, through them, by way of the sacrifice offered. But as I said, the point of corruption was even between the two that were in agreement. That contract was null and void when it started, because they weren't even on the same page to really make it, to solidify it. She already had a back deal going on that nullified with same said energy, if not more, which nullified their agreement and depreciated the potency of it. So that meant that not only did those folks probably weren't fully accepted as a sacrifice. That's why it's the Page of Pentacles. The sacrifice that was supposed to be offered wasn't fully accepted because for some reason it was depreciated in value. I don't know if it truly was on account of their corruption even between their own contract or whatever it was. Something happened where they thought this influx of folks that would be the perfect living sacrifice to whomever they answer to for exchange, it wasn't. So that was deflected or denied, which means that then, and she may have even known that, which is why she set him up, like I said, to take the brunt of the backlash of what would be like, okay, when that's not accepted, here he go. You know, like he may have been the centric focus the whole time, as a matter of fact, and the community was just like the freaking diversion. So here he go as the sacrifice, but his energy is not high enough. It's not premium enough for some reason. Like even the demons, the dark forces, even their taste has elevated. It's not just the light that has elevated and ascended. It's like even the dark has an elevated palate for sacrifice now. You can't just, it ain't just chickens and goats and, you know, like you can't just be given any old thing. It's got to be something of real potency to matter and to be accepted. But that obviously wasn't good enough either. It wasn't good enough either. And here he thought he was about to make the upgrade to King of Wands. And she was thinking she was about to make the upgrade. Either, I'll say she must already be a powerful queen was in some regard to even orchestrate all of this in the first place. But she was looking to upgrade or at least supercharge her energy as she is. You saw what happened to her, so that's that. So whatever she thought her sacrifice was worth obviously was mistaken as well, is the point here. He wasn't premium enough either. And then they both became the sacrifice. Queen of Cups. From the Strength card, exactly. Like this is where the real strength was, not in that mystical energy. And as the Queen of Wands in this frequency, definitely the emphasis on sex and passion magic, glamour spells, and what do you call it? Maybe even suicide spells, or what is it? Obsession spells. Emphasis on that. This is not in the purest form as the Queen of Cups. This is the true strength, real love, compassion, kindness, nurturing, intuitive intelligence. This is someone that used the totality of her being as a sacrifice for the dark. Do I even want to go any further? I don't. No. What else is here? The Four of Pentacles. Oh, so this is what she wanted to do. She wanted, but it would have been false anyway. I was saying like that she wanted to supercharge her power. This was the ambition, to get to a Queen of Cups energy that would have been believable, to have like this supreme power of seduction, to really make energies like fall in love with her to some degree, but not so much in like the real sense, but to somehow become so seductive. Because the Queen of Wands is alluring and attractive as is, but the Queen of Cups, especially in the wrong frequency, can be seductive, like literally almost a siren-like. Goddess energy is what she wanted to advance to gain total control over whatever she objectified. To be able to, like all that I just said, somebody that's into sex magic, obsession spells, seduction, all of that, but to have it come from even an inorganic conjuring. She's never really reached this level of magic and manipulation. The Queen of Wands still is not the pureness of the Queen of Cups. It's attraction, but attraction can be fleeting. This is like devotion alluring, to the point where this would be somebody that could literally just have men or anybody, and not even exclusive to men, but literally have energy at the palm of her hand to be able to seduce people into whatever she wanted, whatever she wanted to gain for herself, or whatever benefit or ulterior motive she might have to be able to possess a certain level of control over energies outside of herself. That's what she wanted. She didn't really have access to that before, not in a sustainable way, or we wouldn't be talking about it. There wouldn't be an ambition for it. So this is somebody that recognized the power of true love and thought that if she could create, like manipulate that energy and almost like manufacture it, or not manufacture it, but like fabricate it, then that would give her the ultimate power to have the ultimate allure, to be the ultimate incarnation or embodiment of seduction, like Goddess Hathor type of energy. to make herself so irresistible, not just to men, because I'm clear to keep correcting myself on that, but I'm just saying it in the matter of what is typical and conventional. But to be so seductive in her energy, her presence be so seductive that she could literally command and demand whatever she wanted of anyone and anything, anywhere. That was the motivation. And his motivation was more so to be so powerful and and unlimitedly creative that he could materialize what was, oh, that was the Queen of Pentacles. So like I said, I don't know who's in who wanted to be the queen bee here, but that would be the energy I think that he was most objectifying, was the idea of being infinitely prosperous, which is the expression here of holding on to material wealth too tightly. That was his downfall, is because that was his ambition in the first place that left him open to be manipulated and and a prime target for magic, you know, but literally not a premium sacrifice. Like, he couldn't even do that right, be a good sacrifice, apparently. Which I don't know is like lucky for him or not, but it seems like it is the truth in any event. I say not so, because like now what you gonna do? What good are you at all at this point? Like, you know, you done outsmarted yourself, got outsmarted. You're not suitable as a sacrifice. You're not cleansed to be, I guess the only probability would be, the only potential would be, like I said, to be a vessel of exposure and enlightenment for others to see, like, this is what goes on. But hopefully whomever would take that pentacle and then reinvest it in themselves, even at square one, if there is such a thing, to, you know, face their judgment and evolve for a second chance, or have a second chance to evolve, I should say. But the jury's still out on that, literally, with the judgment card. I don't know. I can't speak on it, because the way those cards came up with the death card and all that, like, this is definitely the energy of people that really thought they were outsmarting the universe, and I feel like that's just really not a good look. It's like, you're going to get this lesson one way or another, and Godspeed to you. And however you weather that that journey, because it ain't going to be pretty. It ain't going to be pretty. Some people just did way too much when they had far too many warnings to just stop already. So anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, take it easy out there. Don't do too much until you get the green light energetically that is safe and sound to do so, that it makes sense to do so. But certainly don't be afraid to get some rest. It's okay. You're not going to miss anything but recharging. And we all need that, especially if you're a particularly busy person that feels like you have to always be doing something to feel productive. Sometimes you can be most productive by just taking a moment of peace, which is so rare in this world. All right, so powerful week to you nonetheless, and I will definitely talk to you tomorrow. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.